Itrosebeth and welcome to my channel. I hope you find it good and I hope this video finds you well. It's Wednesday and it's time for another video. How are you? How are you doing? I hope everything is getting a little bit local, a little bit safer wherever you are. As for us in Germany, things are looking quite good at the moment. There is not that of a stress in the air anymore, but we Germans are very careful. We are always careful, we are always disciplined, so everyone is walking around with their masks and keeping the distance. So perfect, great. Today we want to look at renting in Germany. Everything you need to know. And if you're interested, please stay tuned, and without further ado, let's get straight to it. Alright, renting is the norm in Germany. Unlike other countries like the US and the UK and Australia and other different countries all over the world who focus more on buying homes than renting, Germany is that country where the majority actually rents their homes. 75% of German families live in either rented houses or rented apartments. And you might ask, is it then cheaper renting than buying? Well, that's a video for another day. Today we just want to look at renting and everything around renting. Good. You just arrived in Germany and you're stranded. Hello? Where do I stay? Where do I live? And you are wondering, what are the steps, what is required, and what do you need to take into consideration before you enter any renting contract? Good. First of all, and I think we will start at the genesis of the whole renting thing. Where do you get an apartment? If you remember, there is a video I made about studying in Germany, and I remember telling you that as a student, you've got three options. First of all, you either get yourself an apartment, which many students cannot afford, or you get yourself a WG, like a Wohngemeinschaft, or you go into a student hostel. As a normal working person, well, the student hostel alternative is no longer in question. So you are left with either getting yourself an apartment or getting yourself a Wohngemeinschaft. Wohngemeinschafts are actually quite welcome in Deutschland, especially for those young people, the ones who don't have any families, who have no responsibilities yet. They are just living life solo. Yeah, for those ones, is Wohngemeinschaft. It's like an apartment where you share with a friend or two, or even strangers, and then you share the kitchen and the bathroom, and then you just share the rent costs. It's a great idea, especially when you move into a new city, because you don't know anyone yet in that new city, and the people you live with, you end up spending the evenings with them, you go out with them, you at least know someone from that place. Okay, great idea. So where do you get yourself an apartment? Where do you get yourself a WG? Well, the one thing I will tell you is that internet is your friend. Google, Mr. Google, is your best buddy when it comes to searching for an apartment. You just need to go to Google, type yourself Wohnung mieten, WG suchen, Apartment suchen, and then it will just spit you a ton of sites and websites where you can just click on, and you have like a million offers thrown into your face. Oh God, I spit it on you. Thrown into your face. So yeah, Google is your best friend. So when you type in Wohnung suchen, Wohnung mieten, you will get like websites like online real estate like Immobilien DE, Immobilien Scouts, Immobilien Welt, Immobelt. It's like really many of them. And if you want especially focused on a WG, you might want to go to WG gesucht, and there you will get tons of people offering their homes as live together. You find other students who want to also form a WG. You can also put your search on the WG gesucht, on the WG gesucht, that if a landlady who doesn't want to put their apartment online might see, oh, someone is searching for this and this kind of apartment, they'll just call you and then connect you. I got an apartment once like this. It was just a family who wanted to rent their basement, and they did not want to put the pictures or any any kind of this announcement on the internet. So I just put a search, and then they just called me, and it was a great apartment. So put that in mind. Otherwise, I don't think people look for apartments in the newspaper anymore. There are some apartments in the local newspapers though. You can go there, but it's getting irrelevant with time. Yeah, like you can imagine. So yeah, internet. Good. So when you're searching for an apartment, what do you look for? You have that picture of the place you want to live in, your home in mind. What do you do? So first of all, you might get a little bit confused with the room numbers given on such an announcement. For example, when you see an announcement which says 2-room apartment, be sure to know that there is a kitchen, a bathroom, and 2 other rooms. Usually the sitting room and the bedroom. So that's a 2-room apartment. Don't think when they write 2-room apartment, you just get a kitchen and a bathroom integrated. I don't know how you're supposed to live there. But yeah, in Germany, the kitchen and the bathroom and the corridors and the stores don't really count as rooms. So the only rooms they count are the other rooms. So if you see a 3-room apartment, it's the kitchen, the bathroom, the corridors, storage, then you have the living room and 2 bedrooms. That is a 3-room apartment. Good. What else do you need to check when you're checking for an apartment? You should keep in mind that in Germany, there are apartments which come furnished and unfurnished. And when I say unfurnished, I mean like empty, completely, nada, nothing, empty, boo, vacuum. Really, like nothing, not even a kitchen or any furniture at all. It's just like empty, clean. Those are unfurnished apartments. Be sure if you have your furniture, be sure to get an unfurnished apartment. If you don't have any furnished furniture, then search for a furnished apartment. Another option which you might encounter while searching for an apartment are those apartments where you have to pay some kind of a compensation money for some furniture. And this is mostly for the kitchen, or sometimes also the floor, sometimes also like a wall cupboard, which the person before you might have bought on their own, was not originally in this apartment, and then they decided, oh no, we don't want to take it with us, we want someone to rent the apartment and give us the money for the kitchen. So be sure to check on that too. Another thing you need to be sure of when you're searching for an apartment on the website is that there are 2 kinds of rents: the warm rent and the cold rent. The cold rent is like the basic rent, just how much it costs to live in that area. The warm rent, on the other side, it's the cold rent plus the living cost. And with the living cost, I mean the Hausmeister, that is the guy who comes and repairs things when they are broken in the house. And then we have the cleaning of the stairs, we have the shipping of the snow, we have the taking care of the rubbish bins. That's all included in the living cost. So the warm rent is the cold rent plus the living cost. So don't be confused, and don't think, this apartment is so cheap, it just costs 300 euros. Well, you just forgot to check down, because there was also the warm rent, which is 500 and not 300. So yeah, be careful when you're searching for that too. Another thing to be careful about is there might be also some scams in the internet. There are some people who want to steal your money. For example, you might see such a great apartment, furnished, everything brand new, smart home, and it's just costing like 500 per month, and you're like, yoo-hoo, this is such a deal. Then you write them, and then there'll come a message like, I'm in England, I have an apartment in Nuremberg which I want to rent, but I'm not there now, but you can just transfer the money in my account, and then I'll send you the key. So when you see such a thing, my dear, run for your life, run for your life. Someone wants to steal your money, someone wants to scam you. So yeah, be careful. These things happen. Be smart. When something looks too good to be true, think twice. Think twice. Be careful really. The sun is moving. Maybe I should go away from the sun anyway. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. Let me continue. I think I'll make it before it goes down completely. Good. So those are the things you need to keep in mind when searching for an apartment. And when you're searching in these online real estate agencies, you also need to check if this apartment has provision fee. And these are provision fees that you pay to an agency, because the owner of the apartment booked some agency to search for them for a tenant, and the tenant has to pay the fees. Doesn't make so much sense, does it? Yeah, I know. So these agencies, they cost like 3 months of the cold rent, which is a lot. So be careful and check if you have to pay the provision or not. Good. Another thing you need to keep in mind is in Germany, every tenant has to pay a caution money. And this caution is usually some extra safety cash which the tenant has to give the landlord or the landlady just for safety, because you never know who you are renting your apartment to. They might miss to pay their rent for a month or two. They might destroy your walls and your windows and your doors and everything, and then they might disappear, and then you're left empty-handed. So just as a security fee, the landlord and the landlady receives a caution money. When you can talk to your landlord and landlady, because most of them actually offer, like, you make a savings account in your bank, and the money is just put aside in a savings bank. And in this Sparbuch, you get like a savings book where the landlord, landlady signs, and only with their signature that money is then allowed to be used by you. So it's like getting some interest in your account, but you cannot get access to it. So if you get that option, it's a great one, because the money still stays in your hands, you just don't have access to it, and when it earns some interest, it's also your cash. So it's a great option. If they can offer you that, perfect. Good. Let's say you've got that perfect apartment of yours online. Good. What next? What next is, you will take the number, or you take a form, depends on what kind of advert there was online, and then you fill in and then send them. You tell them you're interested in this apartment, and you would like to take a look at it. This is important, just to make sure you're not getting scammed. Good. Yes, so you write them or you call them, and then comes the Besichtigungstermin, which is like the day you just go and look at that apartment. On the day of the Besichtigungstermin, there are a few things you will need to bring with you. First of all, you need to bring your Mieterzeugnis. Mieterzeugnis is a letter written by your previous landlord, lady, just to show that you are a reliable person, that you are accountable person, that you're a trustworthy person, that you paid all your last rent in time and in full. So that's the Mieterzeugnis. You need to bring your Schufa-Auskunft. And the Schufa-Auskunft is like an institution which deals on getting or acquiring all the credit information about German citizens, German residents. And if you are into so much debt or you got yourself into some financial trouble, you might have a negative Schufa credit, which is not good. No landlord, landlady want to take a tenant with a negative Schufa credit, so you might need to bring that. Another thing you might need to bring with you is like your earning record for the last 3 months, which is like the Verdienstbescheinigung for the last 3 months, just to show that you are earning enough to afford this apartment. Good. What else do you need to bring with you? And usually there is also a Auskunftsbescheinigung. It's like information about yourself. It's like describing your names, your numbers, your address, so that they may have some information about you. So you are at the Besichtigungstermin. What are the questions you need to ask your landlord, your landlady? Okay. First of all, you need to ask about the heating. What kind of heating is it? Is it electric? Is it oil? Is it gas? Is it oven? Because depending on what kind of oven you have, the costs of these living costs will be completely different. For example, if you have an electric heater, that is going on the electricity and you pay that extra. By the way, just by the way. Or if you have an oven heater, which you have to buy some wood to heat it, and in winter you have to come home to a very cold home before the heater is on. You're freezing before it gets warm. You're already going to bed. It's like an oven heater is really horrible. So ask about the heating. Ask about the basement, the so-called the cellar, because in many apartments they have a cellar where you can put your bike, you can put, actually it's just a storage for any crap you don't need in your apartment. So a cellar. Ask about the parking. Is the parking available for this apartment? And if it is, do you have to pay extra for it? Ask that. Important, especially if you have an apartment in the city. It can be horrifying to get a parking place every evening when you come from work, and you're coming from work tired, so searching for an apartment is the last thing you want to do. So ask for a parking. Good. Another thing you need to ask for is, are you allowed to have pets in there? Because if you have a dog and the landlord, the landlady does not allow any pets, so that might be a problem. Ask if you're allowed to have pets. Ask if they're allowed to have children, because there are also apartments which don't allow families with children. If you have children and they don't allow children, you can see the problem? You think you can. Good. What else do you need to ask about the upkeep of the house? Are you responsible for sweeping the stairs and maybe also scooping the snow in winter, taking out the rubbish bins? Because in some apartments, the residents of the house have to divide these chores among themselves. One has to clean the stairs, one has to do this and this. They don't have any housemeister who does that for them. So ask. And the garden, if there is a garden, ask, are you allowed to use the garden or not? Yeah, because sometimes you are, sometimes you are not. And if you are, is it also your responsibility to keep the garden tidy? Yeah, I am editing this video and I find out it just stopped in the middle. So I just did not put my ending. Oh, sorry. Let me put off the TV. So yeah, I was just editing my video and then I found out I just stopped in the middle. I did not have any ending and I decided while I am wearing my stay home t-shirts and I don't really care. I decided I just take the camera and I take actually my phone and just make an ending to this video, because yeah, it was just left too hanging. I didn't like that. So okay, like I was saying, there are things you need to ask the landlady, the things you need to ask. And now if you've asked all those questions and you are okay with it and she is okay with everything, and then they send you a contract, a renting contract. And when they send you that renting contract, I would advise you to give it to a native German speaker so they may have a look at it, because you never know what is written between the lines. There are some times when they have, for example, a yearly increase in rent written somewhere, I don't know, 10% yearly increase. Okay, 10 is a little too much, but you might have such things written inside, and if you don't really understand the German so well, you might not read it or you might not understand it. So let a German native speaker look at it first before you send it, before you sign it. It's better. And when you've signed and you get that key, bam, you are a tenant in Germany. Congratulations. Congratulations, madam. Congratulations, sir. And now that you're a tenant, there are some awesome other things you need to know. Okay, first of all, as a tenant in Germany, you should know that the landlord and landlady is the one responsible for the repairing of anything broken in your apartment. I mean, things like, oh yeah, your windows, the doors, the floor, the oven, if the oven was there, of course. Anything which was in the apartment when you rented it, anything that breaks down, they are responsible for the repair. And when something breaks down, I would urge you to report it immediately, and better report it in written form, just to have something at hand that you reported. Because sometimes if you report late and then there were some other major damages which happened just because you did not report, they might refuse to pay and the cost will be on you. So report and document it on paper. Yes, good. Another thing you need to know as a German tenant is that you are not allowed to grill on your balcony. That means with charcoal. If you are using an electric grill, that's fine, but you cannot just use charcoal on your oven, on your balcony. No, it's not allowed. Good. Another thing you need to know as a tenant in Germany is that there is something the Germans call Nachtruhe, the peace of the night. The peace of the night sounds actually quite romantic, doesn't it? But no, the Nachtruhe is the law which it's actually a law which forbids you as a tenant to make any noises which the neighbors will hear. I think it depends on how thick the walls are anyway, but it restricts you from making these noises after 10 p.m. And these noises include things like vacuum cleaning, hammering on your cupboards, on your walls, things like playing your guitar, playing your piano, playing your violin, dancing step dance on that wooden floor. So no. In Germany, after 10 p.m., no. Better keep the Nachtruhe. And you know, Germans don't joke, huh? It will be 10:01, and if you're still playing that guitar, you might have police at your door, because Germans will not just come the stairs up to tell you to keep quiet. What? Are you kidding me? No, they'll just call the police on you. So don't. Don't. Keep the Nachtruhe. Actually, everyone keeps the Nachtruhe. I've not even had anyone being called for the police. Maybe I just live in cool areas. Yeah. Otherwise, I think that's it for today. No. For example, if you have a dog, I hope it goes without saying that you have to pick up the poo, the dog's poo. You cannot just leave the dog's poo on the stairs. No. You have to pick it up, or on the garden, or in it. No, you have to clean behind your dog. I mean, in Germany, it's not such a big deal. The German government has ordered all these doggy bags everywhere. So you just need to pick it up, throw it in the rubbish, end of story. So no, don't leave dog stuff lying anywhere for the other tenants to step on. Not nice. So I think that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, I cannot believe I talked already almost 6 minutes already. Oh, come on, Rose. All right, so see you next Wednesday for another video. I think I'll be talking about living in Germany. Is it worth the hype? And if you're interested, please tune in next Wednesday. Until then, stay safe, stay blessed, stay optimistic. Oh God, how do I look without makeup? Crazy, huh? Anyway, yeah. Stay optimistic. Until then, ciao. Love you.